Imagine if I had my own studio, what I'd do with that.
Again, from the outside, everyone probably assumed that, oh, we're doing good, we're doing well.
You think Compton and I should get our own studio? Do it. That's what she was like, do it, yeah, do it, kind of thing. Hi, I'm Dems.
I'm Compton.
We're the co-owners of Be Cool Studios.
And welcome to the Be Cool Studios podcast.
Okay, so let's just jump straight in and tell the people what they want to know. Do you remember how we met?
Yeah, what was it, like 3 years ago now?
About 3 years ago, yeah.
About 3 years ago.
So what do you remember about how we met?
I remember hearing about the event because we met at an event in Manchester, a little photography / I would say creative meetup event. I think this was like the second or third event that you guys were running.
Yeah.
And someone invited me to come to. Didn't really expect much, because I'm very introvert. So I didn't really expect to probably meet as much like-minded people as we did. And I think we just kind of just got chatting. I ended up taking your portrait, didn't I?
Yeah, you did actually. I remember. I think I took one of you as well. Like it was at the
trains.
The train station. So I remember it as old AMC Cinema, but I think they call Odeon Cinema now.
Something like that. Yeah.
And I think I took it against you on like a brown backdrop.
Yeah, because I had like a thingy hat, a brown or something, a red hat or something on that worked really really nicely. So yeah, we met there.
I think you were wearing like a grey jacket as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my partner will be laughing because she'll be like, you don't even remember. I bet you can't even tell me what I wore on our first date, but I remember what you were wearing. But no, so with that meetup though, it was good because like you said, at that time, we did a few events. And what was dope, like the turnout, I didn't expect that many people to come.
Yeah.
Loads of like models, photographers, hairstylists, like actual couple music artists as well. But yeah, we literally were like walking around Manchester, and then you remember people were like following us, thinking, "What's going on?"
Yeah, like we're some sort of like we were some sort of celebrity photographers, like paparazzi or something. But obviously we were just young creatives. I say young creatives.
I am young. Speak for yourself.
Young creatives walking around Manchester, just doing creative things, man. Just being out and about. And networking, that was the big thing I took away from that is obviously we met from that, which is good. But the networking, the opportunity that gave me in terms of like meeting other people who were within the same sort of field that I was, doing.
Yeah.
And be able to network with them, meeting new models, like shooting some models there, which was dope. And a lot of those people we're still in daily contact with now.
Yeah. Because for me as well, what was good about it was, I think at that time, I had only been doing photography for a few months. So I was very much still green. And as you know, photography is a thing that you always learn and you always evolve and you're always elevating anyway. So what I enjoyed about that meetup was the ability to meet like other like-minded creatives and create some dope content. And I think the reason why, from my perspective anyway, the reason why we clicked was afterwards when we all set up the WhatsApp group and everyone shared details, etc. I had a look at your page because I've never heard of you before. I had a look at your work and I thought, this guy's dope. And I remember, if you remember, I started like asking you little like hints and tips, like, hey bro, how you doing? How's the family? Etc. Catching up, and then I was like asking you certain tips on, how do you
things like editing and colors and stuff.
Exactly.
Like that.
How do you get your colors this way? How do you, get your highlights like this? I didn't even understand things about ISO settings, to be fair. Didn't understand aperture. I was completely new to it. And what I liked about you was you've got a genuine heart, as in a sense of you kind of always had the time to answer my questions.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, that's something that I've always thought, and this is why we started what we're going to go into later on. This whole Be Cool studio situation is to inspire the next generation. Because I learned what I knew up until that point
Yeah.
from others. So me being able to pass on anything that I know to somebody else only benefits the industry in a whole and not just me. Because I'm not that type, selfish, type that says, okay, I know this is my secret. I can't share it with anybody. Because let's be honest, within the creative industry, it can get like that sometimes. You know what I mean? So I never wanted to be that person. So that's why I was like, all right, ask me. I say to people now, any questions you want, ask us, right? I might not have the answer, but I might give you a sort of solution, and then you can go look for the answers to match whatever you're looking for. So that's why I always say, come to me, ask me anything, and I'll answer as honest as I can.
And that was my takeaway from it as well. Just the fact that with some people, you may find like when you share a space with someone, they feel like within reason they can't share certain knowledge that they have because they feel like you might be competing or you might be taking away their clients, when the reality of the situation is, in the space that we're in, there are so many clients out there. There are so many photographers. It's all about finding your niche. And I've said this to you in the time that I've known you now as well. You're a dope photographer, and I always say that because you're always creating something new and you've got a distinct style. There were, I'd say, 4 photographers. I always tell you there's 4 photographers.
Yeah, we know the 4
I can go, yourself included from me. So I can go on Instagram right now, right? And I can tell you there were 4 distinct people's styles that I know. And that's why I've always thought you were dope at what you do, which kind of brings us to the next point. So as we've told you guys, we're the co-owners of Be Cool Studios. I think we need to tell them kind of how the studio formed and how we got together to create.
A little conversation between yourself. I think you thinking about looking into doing more of the podcast.
Yeah. So for me as well, like I said, so at the time when we met, I was only a few months into the journey.
Yeah.
And I was doing loads of location shoots, and I did a few studio shoots as well. And in that time, I realized that I love studio photography because I was still learning as well. And the studios that I've booked, they kind of just give you the equipment, don't really teach you how to do it. But when I was looking on Instagram and seeing the dope work that people are creating all over the world with studio photography, I started thinking to myself, imagine if I had my own studio, what I'd do with that. And I was sat with my partner, I think it was about early 2020, sat with my partner. And then I remember sitting down one day and I was saying to her, I was like, I've got a crazy idea. Just hear me out before you say no, right? So then she's like, go on. Because between us, like, I'm the one that has to think everything through. She's like the spontaneous one out of all of us. So I was like, I think Compton and I should get our own studio, And before I said the last syllable of studio, before I said the O in studio, I think Compton and I should get our own studio. Do it. That's what she was like, do it. Yeah, do it, kind of thing. And then do you remember the phone call when I called you?
Yeah, you called me, and we were just having a chat, just normal chat. We were talking about it, and it just kind of came about because you then asked me for recommendation, because obviously I was shooting a lot more in studios because I had previously owned a space myself, like a year before, which I had to get rid of because of a learning experience, learning curve. Doing it on your own, especially, it's even more of a learning curve. There's a lot more things that you didn't take into consideration when it comes to honing your space. So I had to learn a few things on the job as per se. So we were having a conversation, we're just chopping it up, and I think you mentioned that, look, I'm looking to do more podcasts as well as more shoots, and I'm looking to rent a space more often or on a monthly basis per se. So I recommended you, we're not going to name who, I recommended you a studio, but when we look at it, it would have been a costly sort of investment initially doing that, going down that route. So I think we just jokingly said, oh, we should open a studio together. And I thought, you know what, it's
like a pipe dream.
Yes, it's a pipe dream. We just joke about it. I think you went away, you slept on it, and we spoke the next day. Yeah. And you were like, I'm serious if you are. And I'm like, don't pulled my legs kind of thing, because obviously with
Don't
me,
play with me, boy.
yeah, because obviously I've been in the industry, so I had a lot of the stuff I had already as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to like starting a studio, I had a lot of obviously insight as well as some of the gear. So I was pretty much ready to go again.
Yeah.
But I just needed to find the right person to actually do it with. So yeah.
And then I think as well, what kind of helped us is, so when we were serious, when we realized that we weren't joking, being serious about this space, we obviously started looking online. So looking on, studio spaces to rent,
Gumtree.
etc. We were looking at like Gumtree. Remember that dope space we found on Gumtree, but it weren't available anymore. Like that would have been a spot. And then we found that place in Oldham. Like that place was beautiful, but because it was a little bit far and for security purposes, it didn't look that secure, did it? Before? No. And then you actually found this place, didn't you? Was it Gumtree you found this place?
Gumtree. This was on Gumtree,
Right.
but at the time when we found it, it was
a gym.
It was a gym.
Yeah.
It was still a gym. It's still operating as a gym, and the tenant at the time was meant to be out.
Yeah.
Within a month, but that process took a little bit longer.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit longer than we would initially wanted to. So we had to wait, but that also gave us time to start planning the other side of things, how we're gonna, build the space out.
Yeah.
Making sure that we've got enough room to start this, do the podcast, to also do the studio side of things as well.
Yeah.
And getting the materials that we would need. So we started investing early.
Yeah.
Once we knew we secured a place, it was just a matter of waiting on the tenant to get out so that we can get in and start building out. I think we got a bit frustrated at one point, didn't we? To be fair,
Yeah.
because of how long the process took to us, because we were ready, like we were so eager, because obviously, to an extent, we felt like time is of the essence. We need to move. Like we need to get on this ASAP. Like don't mess around.
Because the key thing for me as well, why I realised that it'll be dope to have your own creative space, is when you look at it from a photographer's perspective as well, which is something we'll get into in another episode. When you speak to clients as well, you do have to factor in the studio fees into what you quote them as a price.
Yeah.
And then when we started looking at the logistics, because at the time as well, I was doing a blog, wasn't I? And I always had an idea of turning that written blog into video format, i.e. what we're doing now. So it was key. The crucial element for us was having a space that was big enough where we can have the main studio and then have the podcast room for us to create together as well. And, once the contracts were signed, etc., the early days was funny because if you remember, I had my knee surgery.
Yeah.
So do you remember?
I think I spent like a good day here, didn't I? Just ripping paint off walls and stuff.
Exactly.
Those are the side of the whole build out and the getting a studio that people don't usually see, the hard work behind the scenes, and how much work it took for us to actually get to where we're at now. And we're still not content. We still want to improve. We still want to get better.
But that's the internal desire to always want to improve, always want to elevate, and always want to take it to the next level. And I remember, like you said, in the early days, I just had a knee surgery because I tore my meniscus. And I remember it was like the first week after surgery, you were in here like painting. I think at that point, big up B already built out the podcast room for us. So we had the skeleton shell. We just needed to start painting and decorating and putting our own touch on it. And I remember you were like painting, and then I said to my partner, I was like, no, I can't let Compton do all this work by himself. But obviously, you knew I wasn't being lazy. I was literally, I was like recovering from surgery. Yeah. And I remember, do you remember when I was hobbling around? We've got the video on the Instagram. I was like hobbling around on one leg, painting. Mum came and helped. My brother came and helped. Your family helped. We had a lot of help. And like you say, people don't see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But we did kind of document like the videos of it, etc. But, now we've got the space now. At the point of recording this, we've been open for over a year. How have you found that balance in the last year of being a business owner? You've just gone full time, being a father, and all the personal things that are happening in your life. How have you found it?
It's been, obviously, moments has been tough, but the blessing is a couple of things for me is having you there with us with this part of the whole process made that a lot easier because, like I said, I've been in that before. So having to take on the extra pressure of this,
Yeah.
if I had to do that on my own, I probably would have folded by now because my business was starting to, my own photography business was starting to pick up a little bit more after COVID because the first lockdown hit us hard. Like it hit us hard. So business was starting to boom again. And you talk about family. So I've got a 5-year-old, as you all know.
He's a legend.
But
Love
keeps
that
you
boy.
busy. Keeps you busy.
Yeah. I'll probably say he's a legend because he's not my own.
Yeah. Shout out Kobe. Shout out Kobe.
Big up Kobe.
But yeah, and then from that side of things, having my partner's family and my family, but mainly her family, because her parents are super, super supportive. So having them there and her sister as well to take care of Kobe when I needed to go out somewhere or pick my partner up from work because I've had to go somewhere. So having them has made that process a lot easier. So I know a lot of creatives think that, oh, I'm living the life or whatever, from what they see on the socials because how busy I am. But there's a lot of factors that happen behind the scenes that get me to that point. And it's important that people understand that as much as, you want to be busy, you want to be active all the time on social media, make sure you make time for family. And I'm guilty of not doing that. Like many a times I'll take on jobs and just think, you know what, I need to work. And then I overwork myself because, we're going to go into this in a little bit more detail in another episode. But that place that I was at, like mentally, I wasn't great because the pressure was too much.
Yeah.
So, and leaving a full-time job, permanent paid job to take on something that is quote unquote uncertain because you can have like a really busy week and then all of a sudden nothing. It's a scary prospect and a proposition, and not knowing what the end result is going to be, it makes it even worse. But there's a whole saying, isn't it? If you don't try, you'll never know.
There you go.
So what about you?
I think for me, so I've kind of gone the opposite way. So if you remember, I was working, when we first got the studio, I was working part-time. So I was working like 4 days a week. Then obviously the whole COVID and the furlough scheme came in. So then it dropped down to I was in work 2 days a week. 2 days I was getting paid furlough, whatever. But then I was doing photography to supplement my income kind of thing. And then the photography slowed down. And then I went back to work and then I could only be in 3 days a week because, like the funds wasn't there per se to keep me back at the 4 days a week thing. So then, when you're older as well and you don't have I call it the luxury of youth, as in, minimal responsibilities. When you're older, you got your own bills to pay, you got family, partners, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You do feel the financial burdens as a man. So had a chat with my partner and I said, look, if things from the photography side doesn't pick up by X date, I'm going to have to go full time again. Went full time. I've got a new job now. Love my job. My job's dope. Dope set of people that I work with. Creative people as well. Because for me, the key was I was scared of going back into the office because I look at an office as quote unquote corporate. But what I do is not corporate at all. I'm working with other creatives, other designers. It's sick what I do. So, I've gone from having more free time to now being in a position where I'm juggling working full time and running a studio, which it is demanding, but I make it work because the merits are there for both. And I think what helps us as well is I always feel in any relationship, whether it's romantic or business or family, whatever, it's key when each person involved in that relationship knows what their strengths are
role.
And knows what their role is. And I think what makes me and you work is, I've jokingly given us titles, but I think it's kind of true. So, from the studio perspective, I look at you as like the creative director of the studio because you've got, is it like 10 years you've been a photographer, Nick? About 9?
8.5.
8.5.
Ish. Yeah.
So I look at you as the creative director of the studio. You've got a creative eye and a vision. that sometimes when you do things, I just think to myself, how does he even come up with that? But not even just that, it's your ability to look at the landscape we're in, i.e. we're in the area of social media, and your ability to understand you got to do your reels, your TikToks, your BTS. People need content. We're in the age of content.
Content is key.
Tell them again.
Content is key. If you're not on it, you're going to get left behind. It's as simple as that.
There you go. And I think why we work is, whereas like you're like, I'd say you're the creative director of the studio, I think I'm more like operations.
Yeah, exactly.
Like operations manager, like the day-to-day stuff that, you know, because and we need to have in business, which, you know, we'll get into in another episode. We need that balance. You need to have distinct roles, which allows the business to thrive, because you need a creative director, especially in a space like a photography studio. Yeah. But you also need someone who's able to manage the day-to-days, you know, reaching out to clients, sorting out the invoices, the admin, client liaison. Don't get it twisted. Man's a bad boy creative director as well, yeah. But obviously, I've got to give Compton his credit.
No, but I do agree. Like you said, I said to people, like, and again, it always comes down to I would not do this on my own.
Yeah.
Like, I would, technically, we wouldn't have Beagle Studios if it was just me. Like, I just can't do it all, because, like I said, I'm always bouncing around, I'm always busy, and always...
And I have to quickly interject as well. So as much as myself and Compton are the co-owners of Beagle Studios, I've always got to give a shout out to my partner as well. I'm not telling the name yet, giving you guys her name yet, but behind the scenes, we call her the project manager, because what happens is Compton and I will come up with dope ideas, and I think because we're at heart, we're creatives, we sometimes get lost in the ideas, and we'll have meetings between ourselves before having
endless meetings.
We'll have a half an hour to a 1 hour meeting. We'll put down loads of dope ideas, but then we never implement them. We don't put them into place, because we need someone that can hold us accountable and actually say to us, okay, cool, look, this is what, these ideas are dope. This is how I think you guys should do it. And we're trialing a new format now, aren't we? Where we'll put down some ideas for the week, who needs to do what. And then each week we'll touch base and assess, okay, everyone's been assigned tasks for the week. And, you know, to make a business work, you need to have these roles, and you need to be serious about the business. So big up my partner, big project manager as well, man. Got to give her a credit.
Shout out. It's good to actually do this and talk about this side of the business, because, again, from the outside, everyone probably assumed that, oh, we're doing good, we're doing well.
Yeah.
But we both invested a lot of time, a lot of money into this.
Do you remember that meeting with Jonathan?
Yeah, the accountant is breaking down for us. So,
get yourselves an accountant.
Yeah, 100%. He broke it down for us simply that, you know, you guys have done really well for what you do, and, you know, it's just about building upon that now.
Yeah.
But it's also important for us when people come to the studio that they understand we are creatives ourselves. So it's key that we show these people a good time when they come to the studio, not necessarily as a good time, like have fun type things, like help them out, like you spoke about before, making sure that we problem solve for them. If there's any issue, we can help them.
Yeah.
So they don't have to stress and worry. So take some of that stress and that burden, especially first-time photographers and first-time creatives that come to the studio. We have a lot of that, because we were in that sort of group before.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people still come to us here at Beagle Studio, so we're always on hand to help them. So I always stress to people that we're creatives first, then studio owners.
Yeah.
Because we're here to help. So if there's any issues, please let us know.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to let us know that there's a problem, and we can help you out with it. So it's important when you come to Beagle Studios. Remember, we are always here to help.
Yeah, exactly. And I think so we've been in this for a year now. I think we can both agree that there are things that we could have done better.
Yeah.
There are things that we've definitely learned from. And the plan that we've got going forward, I think that's going to put us in great stead to elevate the business. Because a phrase that my cousin said, big up C. Gordon, but he actually got it from Silver. So maybe big up Silver. Each one, teach one. And I love that because our whole thing here is we want to help inspire the next generation. You know, when we were younger, we had youth clubs, for example, in the UK. I don't think youth clubs are even a thing now because I don't know if the government funding's there, but that's a story for another day. But I say that to say this. We're just basically trying to create a creative hub for people to come on down and just create some dope content.
Yeah, just do that thing. Enjoy it. Enjoy being creative because it can get frustrating if you're putting in a lot of work and you're not seeing the result that you hope for. But that's part and parcel of what comes with this industry. It's not going to always be, roses and sunshine.
Yeah.
You're going to have rainy days. You're going to have cloudy days. So you just got to be able to prepare yourself to ride out those waves and just keep learning, keep improving on a daily basis. Be a sponge, basically.
Yeah, I think that's key to learn as well. How would you say if you had to sum up the last year for our first year, at Be Cool Studios? What are some of the takeaways that you've got from it?
Biggest takeaway for me would be got to be efficiency, learning like the back end stuff, like being able to actually do those things, and having also like again, I'm gonna stress this as much. I'm gonna play my little tiny violin. Having somebody else there who knows that, which is you know that more than I do, to an extent, given the fact that I've been in photography slightly longer, but there's a lot of things that I personally hate doing.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try and front or pretend. Like I don't like sitting down. Like you talk about, I'm creative. Like if I'm not out creating or doing something, I'm stressed. If I'm sat at a computer doing office paperwork, stress.
Yeah.
Like it's not me. So that side of things is something that I need to
see. That's why you love working with, because I don't mind that. I find it therapeutic.
Yeah, you do, but I need to work on it. So that's my biggest takeaway. I need to work on my ability to be more patient when it comes to those things.
And I suppose for me as well, it's actually being more creative, as silly as that might sound. Yeah, because like I said, because I'm in a full-time position now, and I've always enjoyed. No, I don't enjoy it because people are gonna try and hit me up to do all the admin and the paperwork. I do find it therapeutic, but I'll be honest, I've probably kind of lost the essence of why we got the studio in the first place, to actually create content. So this year, with the plans that we've got, is to get me back in the studio. But this has been a good initial chat, and I think we've got some time now, according to the project manager behind the camera, to get into the next session. Not the next session, sorry, the next section. What do you think? Should we jump in?
Let's go for it.
All right,
let's go for it.
Let's do it. Whatever it is first.
I'm already got you ready.
Wow. Okay.
Don't even try and pretend.
When you're ready.
Okay. Who's most likely to have the best dance moves at a party?
Based off what I saw the other day, I'm gonna say you, just for bands. I don't know what you were doing. I wouldn't say the
best, but I'll try my best.
He's the embarrassing uncle. Like, I don't know if there's some way we can superimpose that clip in this video. Maybe we have to.
Nah, we're not going to show them that. Not going to show them that.
All right.
That was after a few drinks, remember?
That was just on oxygen.
This guy.
Okay, second question. Who is most likely to pick up your calls in the middle of the night?
I'd say you.
Because I'm awake most nights after 12 o'clock.
Yeah, by 8:30,
I can't, I'm always awake.
I don't know, maybe it's the age. But then no, because I get up early for the gym and stuff, but it's just literally as soon as it hits, after I eat, because we usually have dinner at 7:30, 7:30.
Yeah.
So I get the itis, but yeah.
I'm always awake.
I'd say it's you.
Third question. Who is most likely to forget to text back? Wow.
Look, I can't lie. I've got WhatsApp messages in my phone from last year which I've not responded to. I'm not saying this as a brag, but it's to the point where I see something and I think I'll reply in a second. But anyone who knows me knows I'll need to literally set an alarm for something as trivial as text Compton at 5, because I will forget.
How it goes, if I don't get a response from you, I ring.
Yeah.
Fourth question. Who is most likely to get into an argument with a little kid?
Yeah, I like arguing with adults. I'll be honest. I'm working on it. I'm not saying it again to, like, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, and I've become a
You're more around him than me though, because obviously your son.
yeah, but I've become a bit more prone
Yeah.
of doing that recently.
Okay, you best mind the kids don't gang up on you and beat you up. You know, I can't run the studio by myself. We've established that. I need you. Go on.
Who is most likely to stay up all night scrolling on their phone?
I say that's a 50-50 because I'm always cool. I always get from Laura.
Point to the camera because the camera don't know who you're saying.
It's 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah,
Personally.
because even though I go bed early, if I wake up in the night, I'll get lost on my phone for an hour and a half.
I'll just watch YouTubes.
Yeah. All right. Well, both. I think that. Yeah,
50-50.
both of us. Yeah.
Okay. Who is most likely to get hungry and angry at the same time?
I need to go home. I'm hungry.
Yeah. When I need food, it's like, I'm sorry for anyone who's had to deal with me when I'm hungry.
You're always on me when I'm on, like yesterday, for instance, I was in here till God knows what time. I think it was like 9 o'clock or something ridiculous in the evening when I came in at 1?
Fair play.
And I didn't have any lunch.
Yeah.
So you always on me like, eat, make sure you eat.
Yeah. We need to go to our spot soon. Okay, we're not saying the name yet. No free promos.
Okay. Who is most likely to reply to messages with gifts?
Yeah. Even in work, I've been dubbed the gift god. Apologies if anyone thinks that's sacrilege, but I love a good gift.
I give you the thumbs up.
I think gifts are just.
I'm more of an emoji guy.
Yeah, I love gifts. I can find a gift for most situations.
Okay, and the last question. Who is most likely to eat food that doesn't belong to them?
I think neither of us, right?
If we had to pick, the only reason why I'd say you is because I know I definitely won't do it. Because I love and respect food so much, I can't just go in the fridge and pick something out that I know.
But also, I'm very picky with food.
Yeah.
So I don't eat certain things. So I wouldn't go touching some. I wouldn't go touching.
See, no, you already said you.
I would go touching something that doesn't belong to me, or at least know what's in it.
Yeah, fair play.
Like, because I'm very picky with my food and I don't eat certain meat. So ideally, it'd be neither of us.
Yeah.
So we'll give that a draw.
Yeah, just
that one's a draw.
That one's a draw.
And on that note,
no, honestly, so that was thank you guys for joining us. So the usual, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, all of that kind of stuff there. And thanks for joining us on the first episode. And you know the motto. What's the motto? Compton, tell him.
Be cool.
Be true.
Be you.
Thank you.
Peace.